Hey, what's up? Ryan K here from Refer, and today we're going to talk about and kind of introduce an entire series of content about what do you do when you feel like you're stuck in your career, or maybe you feel like you're just adrift, like you have no direction at all. It could be that you're following a path that doesn't really align with your personal goals. It could be that you don't really have a path at all. You haven't really thought through what you're trying to accomplish. Before we jump in, make sure you like and subscribe. I have a whole series of videos that go along with this, and I don't want you to miss out on them. So, have you ever felt like your career is like heading in a direction you don't want to go? Or maybe you realize that you're waiting for somebody else to guide you. You're hoping your boss, your manager, your parents, a teacher, a counselor, somebody will give you a direction to go in. Or maybe all the directions they do give you just don't sound that interesting, don't seem to align with who you are or where you want to go to, or for a lot of people, you feel like you just hit the top. You like are bashing into the ceiling and can't go further. Now, let me tell you what the core problem is here. So we all went through an education system that taught us just get on the bus. The bus driver would take us where we need to go. And when we got to school, we just went to the class, and the teacher would take us where we need to go. And the counselor would guide us towards graduation. And when we got done, if we just went to college, if you think about it, the education system was designed to get as many people as possible through to the end point. And for the most part, we all kind of have a shared mission just to get a diploma, graduate from high school to go on to college, and then to graduate from college, and then hopefully to get a great job. And I know when I was growing up, I'm the son of a school teacher and a car salesman, and both my parents worked for the same companies or organizations for 30 years. They're almost their entire adult lives, they stayed in the same organization. They slowly worked their way up. It was the way it was always done. And the school system was the same way. You stay in school, and if you just show up and you do what you're told and you follow the leader, think about it like that. Follow the leader. There's almost always a leader there for us to follow. And if we simply follow the leader, if we simply do what we're told to do, then we're supposed to get an outcome. Now, the problem is that once you leave school and you get out into the normal real world of jobs, while there are leaders, just following those leaders will get you where they want to go, but not always where you want to go. And this becomes even more important because life and careers are no longer a 30-year thing that we work towards. Things are changing rapidly, and most likely you're going to have 2 or 3 careers. Think about your career not as one long path or one long play, but a series of acts. So we need to break it down into these shorter chunks, but even those acts are most likely 10 years long, and we might work for 3 or 5 different companies in that time period. You see, when you're working for one company for your entire career, then you do follow the leader, and hopefully what you're trying to do and what the organization's trying to do is in alignment, takes you to the right place. But when you're more likely to move around through jobs in order to progress in that career path, following the leader is not going to help you personally. That doesn't mean that you should go against what the leaders are teaching you. But what it means is that you need to have kind of 2 hats that you put on. You have the hat you put on as a good employee, and you do what you're supposed to do, and you follow your leadership, and you align your work with their vision and their mission and what they're trying to accomplish in hopes that they pay you, they don't fire you, they don't lay you off, they hopefully promote you and move you up and give you more opportunities. But you also have to have your personal career adventure hat on that is your path, that is making sure that you're looking out for you, that you're in the driver's seat of where you're going, because as soon as where you want to go is no longer aligned with where the organization wants to go, you're going to run into a problem. And that's where a lot of us are challenged right now. It's not that there aren't career paths out there for us. It's that we were never taught that it was our job to get in the driver's seat. We were never taught how to do that and what to do. And we were never taught how to balance loyalty and respect for the leader who's our current leader with self-determination and self-drive, and making sure that we're also at the same time looking out for our own interests. And so when you think about what the goal here is and what we're going to teach over the coming videos that follow this up, we really have to start with this mindset, this idea that nobody's going to be there to lead us on our career journey. This is like a personal adventure that you're going on. Self-guided. Yeah, there's people around. Yes, throughout this career adventure that you're going on, you're going to be working for people. You're going to have bosses and managers and leaders that you will need to listen to and respect and follow when it comes to things that impact your work in their company. But this is very much a path of your career is a self-guided thing, something that you have to take control of and drive forward. And that really is the key of doing these two things. Now think about back to school. When we think about what does it take to actually be successful in your career adventure, going back to school, we had our kind of bare minimum. Think about that syllabus we were given. The bare minimum expectations to pass this class. And even the maximum of what you needed to do to get an A was just that, the maximum for that goal of that class. It didn't give you a maximum for or things to do if you wanted to accomplish things outside of just getting a grade. So when we think about college as a good example, the syllabus and the bare minimum and the maximum of each class and what it takes to graduate is what's required to get a degree, not what's required to get an amazing job when you graduate. Those are two different things. And so when we're in college, that's why there's so many people graduating from college right now who then can't get a great job in their degree. They gained the education and they did what was required to get the degree, but they didn't do what was required to get the experience to be able to prove that they could actually implement these things in a job, in a workplace. And because there's not as many mentorship programs, there's not as many internship programs, there's not as many employers that are waiting who were wanting to hire entry-level talent. Yes, you got a degree, but no, you didn't get the experience to show that you could actually execute it. And it creates this gap that you've got to cross. You can cross that at the end, or you can cross it while you're in college. You can cross it when you try to get that next job, or you can start building the bridge and crossing it while you're doing your current job. But these two things of doing what's required to excel at the job I'm in and doing what will be required to obtain and be successful at the job I want to go to next are two different things. And if you'll just think about this for a minute, one of them, your leader has a vested interest in. You being successful at your current job helps your leader, your manager, your boss with what they're trying to do. But what you need to do to be successful at getting and excelling at the job you want next, which most likely will not be with that company, your current leader, manager, boss has no vested interest in. And so that means there's no leader. And a leaderless ship goes nowhere. And that's really kind of the goal of this entire video is just saying, hey, you need to take charge of this other part, of this other side, of mapping out your career path, of identifying where you want to go, of figuring out what the steps are, of doing the things outside of your current job that will prepare you and propel you and enable you to get that next job that isn't just the same job for a little bit more money. It's not just what we call a horizontal transfer. It's actually a move up, a step up. You see, most likely the job you're doing today is not preparing you for the job you'll do next year. Let me just restate that in closing. Most likely the job you're doing today is not preparing you for the job you're going to do next or need to do next if you want to progress. And that means that the leader that you're following today is most likely not going to be preparing you for that job either, especially since it most likely is not in his interest or her interest to do that. So hopefully this isn't a big downer. Hopefully this is exciting to you. And that's really my goal of this series of videos is to say, look, not to knock corporate America, not to knock your boss or your manager or whatever, not to say that, they're just out there for their own interest, but they are humans and they are out there for the interest of their company, their own job, and their own customers and what they need. That is how business works. We're not in school anymore. And because of that, The goal of this series of content is to teach you exactly what it means to get in the driver's seat of your own career adventure, what things you'll have to do, what things you need to learn, what power and tools you can use to propel you forward, and how to go about systematically, first, figuring out where you're going. Second, figuring out what those stages are that will get you there, what the steps are. Third, figuring out how to actually navigate that in a way that will drive up your likelihood of getting to where you want to go. So, thanks so much for watching today. Remember, please like and subscribe to this channel. More amazing content is coming out. Until next time, we'll talk to you later.